Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe vom SI Talk. Sie wissen, ich bin in Wien bei der Gold- und Silbernacht, die organisiert worden ist vom Jochen Steiger vom Swiss Resource Capital. Und ich habe mir zum Glück sein Equipment ausborgen können. Also danke, Jochen, dass ich mir den Equipment ausborgen kann, weil ich habe einfach die Chance gesehen, ein Interview zu machen mit ein paar interessanten Companies, unter anderem Pershing Gold. Pershing Gold wird meinen Aktionären jetzt oder meinen Abonnenten schon relativ viel sagen. Levon, Sie kennen die Story von Levon, und Levon ist ja mit 9,1% am Pershing Gold beteiligt, und mit dem Spin-out, der jetzt kommt, ist es für uns natürlich umso interessanter, was hat es eigentlich mit dieser Pershing Gold auf sich, weil ja das auch ein Big Asset ist von Levon selber. Neben mir sitzt einer der Gründer der Pershing Gold. Er ist jetzt Investor in der Pershing Gold selber und hilft der Company auch in Europa, ist ein großer Investor in dem Bereich. Und ja, Edward, thank you to have time for me. We talk about Pershing Gold. We know, or my subscriber know the company about these Levon deals, and we know exactly that Levon have a big portion in your company, and so the interest comes through Levon to your company, and you are near-term production company, but and in our discussion before, the decision for production is not done yet. But it's close, but not done yet. The reason is you think you can invest the money a little bit better at the moment when you increase your resource. So maybe you can fill up a little bit into your company. What is actual the plan from the company? What is coming up maybe in the next 3 to 6 months? And yeah, that was the first question.
Okay, perfect. Well, long question.
A long question, a lot to talk.
Do my best to answer it. First and foremost, thank you so much for interviewing and having me here today. It's been great. We've been on a European roadshow with Swiss Resource Capital, and Jochen, he's done a wonderful job taking us around, so it's a real pleasure to be here. I tell you, I'm really excited about Pershing Gold. You know, the company right now is at an inflection point. This is a company that is going to be Nevada's next gold producer. So we have a mine, the Relief Canyon mine. We've been building out the resource at that mine pretty dramatically. When we first took over the Relief Canyon mine, the project, it was about 100,000 ounce, almost non-compliant resource. Through drilling, we expanded that to a 550,000 ounce measured and indicated resource with about another 165,000 ounces of inferred. And that resource continues to expand. So you asked about what's the future plans. In the next couple of months, keep your eyes out for an updated PEA, preliminary economic assessment. That's going to include the future drill results from 2014.
But I must say, you are fully permitted.
Correct.
And you have a mill there.
Correct. That's the exciting part about the story. Not only do we have a mill, there's a couple things to point out about this mill. This mill is a state-of-the-art facility. It was just built a couple years ago. It's brand new. Estimated replacement costs are multi-millions of dollars to replace a facility like that. We own it outright. There's no debt in this company. We paid cash for it, Pershing Gold, and we own the facility 100% outright. As you rightly pointed out, we have the permits ready to go back into production, so it's a real exciting story. We're currently right now continuing to do the exploration program and build out the ounces in the ground. The mine engineers are optimizing the mine plan. We anticipate by the end of this year having a full bankable feasibility study which will show the economics of the mine, what are the all-in sustaining costs. Our facility, our mill, was built for this ore type. So we know that it's optimized. This is a big, as you know, open pit, heap leach, bulk tonnage operation. So we believe we're going to have very low cash costs. We believe we'll be able to make money in the current gold market, but we're also watching the gold price. And if gold prices go up higher from here, which we think they will, maybe later this year, next year, obviously we want to maximize shareholder value and sell our gold when the price is at the best level. So watch for this mine to go into production. End of next year, early 2016 is the most likely time frames.
How long you need upfront that you can turn on the mine?
It would take approximately, if we turned it on just tomorrow, we're looking at, you could turn it on as fast as probably 60 days. But, you know, we will take a little more time than that. So it'll take approximately towards the end of the year to actually put it into production and turn it on.
Mm-hmm. You say you wait a little bit for a higher gold price. I come to a personal question. What is your personal opinion about the gold price? What do you think, how high can the gold price going?
Whoa, that's a great question. If I knew how high the gold price could go, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you.
No,
I'd be home in front of Bloomberg trading.
Your personal guess.
Yeah, great question. I think that, as you know, it's been a real tough time over the last 3-4 years for both gold and silver and the precious metals markets. But it really feels like we're at a base now. Gold has made pretty much a triple bottom on the charts around that 1140 technical level. If it can hold there, then I think that there's nothing but upside. How high can it go? I think substantially higher. I also think here in 2015, we're at April 23rd, 2015, look at the world that we live in. There's tremendous geopolitical uncertainty. We've got the issue with Greece, we have issues in Ukraine with Russia, we've got issues in the Middle East. There's a lot of uncertainty out there in the world. We do know that all of the fiat currencies continue to be debased. We know that every government in the Western world is facing massive debts and massive fiscal challenges going forward. So I think precious metals go higher. I really do. For thousands of years, gold has been a store of value, and I think that as the money starts flowing out of these hot technology stocks, biotechnology stocks, if the equity markets pull back a little, people start getting a little scared, the money is going to flow right into the natural resource sector and the precious metal sector, and as it does, the prices will go up pretty nicely.
Okay. Coming back to your bankable feasibility study, what do you expect or think the all-in costs are by or coming out with this bankable feasibility study?
You know, it's a great question. A couple of things that I'll point out. The original pits, big heap leach, open pit, bulk tonnage operation, the gold grades in the original pit were about 1.5 to 1.8 grams per ton. We have been drilling in 2014 into 2015 with some very new exciting targets. We've actually hit a feeder zone, and we believe this is a brand new discovery just north of the North Pit. We have 3 stacked feeder zones, and the grades that we're getting out of there have been some of the highest grades hit in Nevada in the last several years. What does that mean? As you know, you're an expert in this sector. The higher the overall grades of the project, the more economic it becomes. So what do we think the all-in cash sustaining costs are going to be? We really have to wait for the feasibility study to come out to show us. Some of our neighbors, if you look at the district of Nevada that we're in Pershing County. Just north of us is Karr Mining. North of that, you have Florida Canyon, Japango. Florida Canyon's very interesting. Even though it's a private company, they've been, their deposit is very similar to ours. The geology is very similar to ours. Their all-in cash sustaining costs are probably about $700 an ounce. Okay. So that could be something similar that you might see come out of our feasibility study by the end of this year.
Come to my last question. This is really a negative question. You're listed on the OTC bulletin board or BC or whatever, and this is nearly a no-go for us. How are you working on it?
Yeah, it's a great question, great point. And myself, my day job, I'm an asset manager based in Geneva, Switzerland. So I know all the problems and difficulties with the over-the-counter bulletin board. And the company's very aware of that as well. They actually have a strategy in place to uplist to the full Nasdaq main board. So that is going to happen within the next 2 months. An application has already been put into Nasdaq. An application has been put into FINRA. They will be accepted. The company will uplist. And this project is very well known in North America. Our CEO, Steve Alfers, has a lot of credibility. He came over to Pershing Gold before he was with Franco-Nevada Gold Royalty Trust. He's a very experienced mining attorney in the western part of the United States. And so the relationships are there, and a lot of institutions have been watching him and this project. So institutional investors are really, really excited, but they can't buy the stock because it's trading on the bulletin board. So it's in the company's strategy to upgrade to the full Nasdaq. That'll be happening in the near future. They will have to accompany that with a reverse split of the stock. And we're very confident that once we get up listed on the Nasdaq, there's going to be a lot of institutions that want to go in and buy us. In addition, for our European investors, we were just 2 weeks on the road, a lot of time in Germany. The company is going to do a Frankfurt listing as well once we're on Nasdaq. So a lot of the European investors will have the option either buy the shares directly on the Nasdaq or on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange.
Okay, great to hear this. My last question is the position about Levon. Levon has 9.1% in. Pershing is not here a little bit the fear that Levon will sell this stock sooner or later?
Yeah, it's a great question. Personally, I don't have any fear that Levon's going to sell the stock. I know that the current CEO of Levon, Ron Tremblay, he knows Steve Alfers very well. He knows Barry Honig, one of our largest shareholders in the company, the largest shareholder, very well. He's very, very excited about the upside for Persian gold. Levon might sell, but it's probably going to be several years down the road once they see the size of this deposit, and ultimately they want to make money for their shareholders. So that's why they realize that a strategic investment into Persian gold was the best use of their money, and I think in this market it still is. This is the most exciting story in Nevada right now.
Okay, thank you for your first introduction to the company. Ja, extrem spannend, was wir hören. Die Company hat wirklich Potenzial. Ich meine, wo gibt es schon, dass man eine Company hat, die fully permitted ist, also alle Genehmigungen hat, die null Schulden hat. Sie zögern jetzt momentan den Betrieb noch aus, obwohl sie jederzeit starten können, weil sie sagen, oder sie wollen einfach noch größer werden. Das größte Problem ist eindeutig einmal ihr OTC-Listing. An dem arbeiten sie jetzt. In den nächsten 2 Monaten soll ja dieses OTC-Listing gegen ein fully Nasdaq-Listing ersetzt werden. Dadurch muss die Aktie auch noch einen Reverse-Split zu machen. Wie groß das der sein wird, werden wir dann sehen. Aber wenn das wirklich ist, ist das letzte Problemstück erledigt. Und was er schon selber sagt, und das macht es ganz interessant, es sind extrem viele institutionelle Investoren jetzt schon drin, große Investoren, aber die richtigen institutionellen Investoren können noch nicht investieren, weil es eben ein OTC-Listing ist. Und OTC-Listing ist ein No-Go. Und das könnte sich natürlich mit diesem Nasdaq-Listing ändern. Dann können die Leute investieren und dann könnte es sein, dass der Aktienkurs ganz woanders steht. Ja, also ganz spannend, was sich da hier tut. Die Aktie muss man auf jeden Fall auf seiner Watchlist haben. Das war's auch Wien. Bis in Kürze. Tschüss.